So does that justify everything that you do?
Excuse me, let me tell you something. What do you think they were doing it for? Because they were trying to save us from poverty? No, they did it because they needed us. It's honor and family and loyalty. And some of us wanted a piece of the action. Now, we weren't educated like the Americans, but we had the balls to take what we wanted.
Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another live edition of On The Go right here on Driving to the Top Productions, where I'm your host, Haas, and I'm bringing the sauce. What's up, everybody? On this hump day, it's Wednesday. It's Ash Wednesday, if you know what that means. Mardi Gras is in the rearview mirror. It is officially Lent season for the next 40 days. What are you giving up? What are you going to adjust to for the next 40 days? Before we get into all that talk, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on X at BigHoss337. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This show you can find on X and Instagram at OnTheGo_TXLA. Driving to the Top, Facebook, Instagram, X. Subscribe to them on YouTube as well. This show is presented by POGGERS, the official vitamin supplement of On The Go, and presented by Rogue Energy, the official gaming drink of On The Go. RogueEnergy.com. Poggers.shop, or download the apps on any mobile device. Use that code OTG to get 10% off of your order. My second show this week. Big thank you to everyone who tuned in on a special edition, and a big thank you to the guy I brought on, Marvin Powell III, former USC Trojan, former New Orleans Saint. I had a wonderful time talking to him about his football career in college, the NFL. I enjoyed talking to the guy. Great listen. Go check it out. And it won't be the last time you'll see him on this show. I'm going to bring him on in the future when we talk more NFL and whatnot. But I got to say, before we get this ball rolling, Mardi Gras 2026 was a spectacular season for me. Our run was one of the biggest in the area. I enjoyed everything I've had, from DJing on the float to the bars, everyone that came out. I had a wonderful time. Family came right down across the country. Great people involved. We had a fun time, especially last night too. And now we move on to its Lent season, getting ready for Easter, where Jesus died for our sins and he rose again on the third day. What you guys giving up for Lent? Or what you going to gain for Lent? And maybe you can ask me, what am I doing for Lent this season? I usually rotate around. I don't like to give up something every single year. So I've kind of been on this trend where it's like every other year I swap out. One year I'll give up something. This year I'll adjust something. So last year I gave up podcasting for Lent. I didn't do a podcast, didn't talk no wrestling for 40 whole days. I haven't really done that again. Then I kind of adjusted to this new show, which this year for Lent, I'm going to kind of adjust to being more compatible for this show. Like, I want to deliver more to this show. Like, I'm already reaching the 1 year mark coming April 13th. I want to make this show even better than what it already is. I've made quite a bit of adjustments. You saw a brand new intro, a brand new overlay. I kind of adjusted from the neon lights to black and white. I wanted to do something different. Like, I've never had an athlete on the show, and I talked to Marvin yesterday. I want to kind of do more of that, and I want to give you more teams to cover on this show. And with arena football coming up, I'm going to actually adopt more teams on this show, kind of like I did with the Gumbo Gators last year. I'm going to bring them back on in the summer. I'm going to be talking at the Beaumont Renegades from the AFL 1 on this show. I know when we get the Bayou Bucks in 2027, I'll put them on the show. I'm going to bring more to the table, with McNeese baseball, softball, LSU softball, baseball. I've been talking baseball on the show. Throw in some other teams and whatnot to make it more enjoyable. And I want to bring in new guests, bring in new people, because this show's been growing. And I want to just give you guys better content. That's what I want to do for Lent. I want to make this show even better than what it already is. Now, and what else? I can do a little bit of extra stuff on the outside of the streaming world. I mean, remember one year I've read the Bible for 40 days during Lent a couple years back. Might look into doing that again. Also making amends with people. You know, I've made some enemies over the years in the real world or in the streaming world or my old days on the podcast world, trying to make adjustments with that, kind of water under the bridge with everybody, because I'm not a bad guy. I don't want to be an asshole. I mean, I'm kind of surrounded by assholes every so often.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Not all the time, though, but I want to show that I'm a great person. And I can just talk, not just about sports to you guys, I talk life to you guys. Now, what have I given up for Lent in the past? Oh, where do I even start? I remember about 20 years ago, I gave up Dr. Pepper for Lent. Roughest 40 days ever. I once gave up alcohol for Lent. I didn't drink beer for 40 days, and I lost a lot of weight. I've once given up, what else have I given up before for Lent? Let's see. I gave up wrestling once. I gave up video games. I like to try and give up something different that I've really loved, and I love all sorts of stuff. Like, I gave up podcasting last year. You know, I've always tried to give up something different because I don't like to give up the same stuff every time. I like to just show there's other stuff I love I can kind of take a break on. But I'm glad Mardi Gras in the rearview mirror. We're now moving forward, getting for Lent season, getting ready for Easter coming up in the beginning of April. But I'm going to here to continue on and keep this show rolling. And when I say I want to add on to the show, another thing I want to add on, it's going to be my first topic for today's show. Let's talk the Daytona 500 that happened this past Sunday, the Great American Race, baby. NASCAR, yeah, I've back in the day, I've tried to get into it. Wasn't the biggest fan, but I've watched some of the big races like this, Talladega, Texas Motor Speedway, Bristol, Indy, Vegas. You know, I've watched a few races every so often, but I never got so hooked on it. But a good friend of mine, if he's watching, he was a former co-host of mine. If he's watching, shout out to him. He got me into NASCAR. And I told him, like I said, I'll give it another shot. And man, Daytona 500 did just that. And it was about a couple years ago. It was about a couple years ago. I got hooked on one driver. You might know him. He goes by the name of William Byron. William Byron got me hooked on NASCAR when I took a bet on him a couple years ago in the Daytona 500, and he won me some money. And I figured maybe he could do it again. I should have betted him last year, and I didn't. I betted him this year, and unfortunately, I didn't win shit. I didn't win shit at all. By the way, shout out to Freddie, from former co-host of mine from Sportsmania Plus and SAT Sports. He got me into NASCAR. Freddie, if you watching, peace, love, brother. I miss you, man. We have to get back together sometime. Yeah, I watched the Daytona 500, and unfortunately, it didn't go my way. William Byron did not make history. He did not win 3 straight Daytona 500s because no one's never done it. But he wasn't the only guy they were like blowing up to win this race. They were blowing up like Joey Logano. They were blowing up Kyle Busch. They were blowing up Ryan Blaney. They were blowing up Chase Elliott, like all these racers to try and win it. But it was at that final lap with the last couple of turns, it got me on the edge of my seat. And at one point, William Byron had the lead. But you want to rewind back at the very beginning of the race, I think it was around the 10th or 11th lap, we had our first caution. Ever since BJ caused that damn collision and William Byron had some issues with his car, it just took the vibe away, and William Byron it was all gone. And then at the blink of an eye, whenever, who was it? That was a Danny Hamlin that caused that last collision right before Tyler Reddick crossed that finish line. At one point when that collision happened, William Byron went from like second, third place down to 12th. Chase Elliott, who's another racer of mine I like to follow, he had it right there. And just out of nowhere, Tyler Reddick crossed the finish line. Shout out to the caution team that did not wave the damn yellow flag right before the race was over with. Tyler Reddick wins the Daytona 500 and shouts to the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan, who's now has his own team. I'm kind of adjusting to that. I don't even know what his team name is. He wins his first Daytona 500 as a team owner, and one of his drivers wins it for him in Tyler Reddick, who started the race at 26, by the way. Let's see what Michael Jordan's race team got. 23 XI. I don't know if that's how they're pronouncing it, 23 XI or 23-9. But that's his racing team. And they win their first Daytona 500. Oh, no, 2311. I got the Roman numerals wrong. 2311 is his racing team's name. But you see, me, when it comes to like racing teams, you know, I'm going with Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick Motorsports is like the SEC of NASCAR. The number of great racers that race for that team. And the guy I ended up pulling for one day and jumped on his wagon races for Hendrick. But you see, I don't go by teams. I know some people are different with NASCAR. They go by teams, which means they got up to 4 drivers they follow, or they just follow from one or the other. I'm kind of that one or the other guy. You know, I'm a William Byron guy. He's with Hendrick Motorsports. But everyone loves Chase Elliott, who drives the Napa car. And he's a very good dude, too. And Chase Elliott, I want to see what his team is. Oh, he's also in Hendrick Motorsports, so good. So, I mean, hell, that's a win for me. Hell yeah. I just want to kind of look this up. So, yeah, you got Kyle Larson. If you want to, Hendrick Motorsports consists of Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Alex Bowman. Perfect. So, basically, that's the team I'm going to follow. No disrespect to 2311, you know, if that was a backup team, you know, I'll give it to Michael Jordan, but I'm riding with the SEC of NASCAR. Hendrick Motorsports, 2 drivers right there I love. William Byron, Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott had it in the bag, but Tyler Reddick passed him up, which William Byron started at the back of the line. They ended the night with 12. Chase Elliott ended up coming in 4th place. So the winner, of course, Tyler Reddick, who started 26. The runner-up went to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who started the race 16th. And in 3rd place was Joey Logano, who actually started 3rd. So he started where he was and finished where he left off in 3rd place. If you want to go back to the beginning of the race, stage 1 ended with Lane Smith in 1st, Austin Cindric at runner-up, and Ryan Blaney at 3rd. The stage 2 wrapped up with Bubba Wallace taking the lead with Ryan Blaney as a runner-up and Kyle Busch in 3rd place. Which, good thing Kyle Busch didn't win that shit. The way he was talking on the panel, saying like, oh, if I win this Daytona 500, you won't see me in Atlanta next week. Well, guess what? We're going to see him in Atlanta next week. So that's what you had right there. But Daytona 500, the Great American Race, kicks off the season. You kick it off with your biggest race of the year. And now we get ready for the Auto Trader 400 down there in Hampton, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta at Echo Park Speedway. 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 o'clock Central. I think it's on Fox. Yeah, Fox usually covers NASCAR, Fox or FS1. You can also watch it on PRN, HBO Max, or you can listen to it on SiriusXM. They got a NASCAR channel. I'll be looking forward to the next one. You know, I may not. I want to try and recap every race, but I know I'm not going to watch every single race, especially when we get to football season. But I know most of the ones I watch happen around this time during the off season. You know, Daytona, you got Auto Trader 400. Then you got later on, they got, let's see, after that, March 1st, they got the Duramax Grand Prix. Only 95 laps. I might still watch it. Phoenix is up March 8th. Straight Talk Wireless 500. Vegas, I watched that one. The Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Goodyear 400 in Darlington. That's another good one. We also got the Cookout in Ridgeway, March 29th. But it's April. April, May usually has the big races right there, especially April. You got Bristol, Kansas, and Talladega, baby. Food City 500 in Bristol, the Advent Health 400 in Kansas City, Jack Links 500 in Talladega. That's a bucket list right there for me. If I go to a NASCAR race, I got to go to Talladega first. Always hear good shit about Talladega. I've seen Texas Motor Speedway, but that's following Talladega. The Worth 400 presented by Liquid Moly in Fort Worth. Talladega first, and if I ever go to a second race, it could be Fort Worth. The All-Star in Dover, which is going to be May 17th. Charlotte's another big race, the Coca-Cola 600. Nashville got a race too, Cracker Barrel 400. It's always around the spring is when I watch these races. And, when the summer comes, they got, Sonoma's a big race I like to watch. And then they have their, the Indy, which it used to be the Indy 500. I don't even think they still do that anymore because they have what's called the Brickyard 400 in July. And then, they make their second rounds. Like they go back to Daytona in August for the Coke Zero Sugar 400. They go back to Darlington. They go back to Bristol for a night race. They go back to Kansas. They go back to Vegas, Charlotte, Phoenix, Talladega in October for the Yellowwood 500. So I guess they're only doing one race in Indy, but they're no longer calling it the Indy 500. It's the Brickyard 400. You should go back to Indy 500. I'm used to that. But get ready to hear some more NASCAR talk for the later in this show. I mean, I'm going to try and keep it going even during the middle of football season, but I guarantee you by the time I get to September, it's football the whole damn way. But I'll do what I can with the NASCAR talk. I'm kind of still a rookie in this, so kind of give me a break there. I'll tell you, I'm not going to give you a break on. If I got any rants right now before I get to my actual talk, if you listen to my interview with Marvin, we kind of crap talked on how the Pro Bowl has changed and whatnot, how it went for some awesome event to like a damn circus trying to show off, and then you end up playing flag football. I'm kind of saying the same thing about the NBA All-Star game. We had the All-Star weekend in LA at the Intuit Dome. And let me tell you, a lot has changed in 20 years. What the hell happened to this? You thought the Pro Bowl was bad. Yeah, check out All-Star Weekend. Where do I even want to start? I'll tell you what I want to start with. Let's start with one thing I've always looked forward to watching, and now it's the biggest crock of shit ever, the slam dunk contest. I have seen more botches in a slam dunk contest this year than I've had any other year. Did Jace Richardson ever wake up from knocking his head on the backboard and fell flat on his back? Most of these guys' dunks were ass. Like Shad Johnson of the Miami Heat ended up winning the contest. Carter Bryant from the San Antonio Spurs was the runner-up. Jackson Hayes from the Lakers came in third, and then no surprise, Jace Richardson came in last place. All four players were making their slam dunk debuts, by the way. And then the All-Star game changed a lot. It's not East versus West no more. About 10 years ago, they started this like, Team LeBron versus Team Kobe, or Team LeBron versus this guy, Team Durant. Now it was like Team Stars, Team Stripes, the World Team. They had like it was a round-robin tournament, basically. It started with Team Stars winning in overtime, 37-35 against the World Team, followed by Team Stripes beating Team Stars 42-40. Then Team Stripes beat the World Team 48-45, and it wrapped up in the championship game where Team Stars beat Team Stripes 47-21. Oh, and also all it basically is a show-off game. Who can shoot the most threes? Who's going to do the best slam dunks? Like, it's not a defensive competitive game no more. It's just a show-off freaking circus. Man, times have changed, but thank God The MLB All-Star ain't like this. Thank God the NHL All-Stars ain't like this. The home run derbies ain't no damn circus. It's a damn battle of who can hit it the farthest or who can hit the most. Even the All-Star game, please never change MLB All-Star. Keep it the same way it always been. In NHL, you know, I don't usually keep up with the NHL All-Star, but I have watched it before in the past. Keep it the same, too. You're doing so good with these two, you've turned the Pro Bowl and the All-Star game into a fucking circus. Anywho, let's go ahead and do some actual talk on my teams I follow. So things are going to be a little different since this might be the first time ever I'm going to start it off in the boot. But since there was really nothing going on in the 504 New Orleans, courtesy of Mardi Gras, and I really have nothing else to talk about because Saints are in the offseason, Tulane's in the offseason. We've had no NBA games. NBA actually relaunches tomorrow night. The only thing I'm going to say, I'm not even going to jump to the category or nothing. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what's next for the Pelicans before we get this ball rolling. The Pelicans return to action on Friday, February 20th at home against the Milwaukee Bucks. Then they're back at home on the 21st against the Sixers. And Tuesday, February 24th. So 3 straight home games. They're also going to be at home against the Golden State Warriors. That's what we got until next week's show, which I plan on recording February 25th. And then I'll go ahead and jump on the Houston Rockets, what they got coming up after the All-Star break. They go to Charlotte to play the Hornets tomorrow night. Saturday, they go to MSG to play the New York Knicks, prime time on ABC. Monday night, they're back at Toyota hosting the Utah Jazz, and you can watch it on Peacock at 8:30. And while I'm recording, they'll be wrapping up a home game with the Sacramento Kings, which I'll hopefully have a final result for that. But yeah, so this show might go a little quicker. I know I've been 20 minutes in, and I really didn't get into nothing yet permanently besides talking the Daytona and the NBA All-Star. So this will be the first time when I kick things off in the boot. We're going to kick this show off in Tigerland. You ready? Let's go. 225 Baton Rouge, Tigerland. Let's go. All right, now we're in Tigerland. You know what? I want to start exciting. Before I get to any baseball talk, because I'm so excited to finally talk baseball. LSU baseball again on this show, baby. But let's talk about another big bombshell that dropped at Louisiana State University. I want to say they're the first college to have a big deal partnership like this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I looked this up because I want to see if there was any other team out there that done what LSU has done. What LSU did was they now partnered with a multi-million-dollar company. They have what's called a legacy partner. I'll get some more on that in a bit, but when it comes to a legacy partner, one team for sure I know that has one is the New England Patriots. They might be one of the only in NFL teams to have a legacy partner. I know HBCU. Well, the All-State Sugar Bowl has a legacy partner in HBCU Legacy. Penn State has what's called the Lions Legacy Club. It's not a corporate sponsor, but it's a legacy partner. Even Notre Dame has a legacy partner themselves. It's called Golden. But LSU, I want to say, is the first school to have a legacy partner with a corporate sponsor, and they partnered up with Woodside Energy. They're from Australia. I think it was $17.5 billion deal. Woodside Energy, $17.5 billion deal with LSU to be their legacy partner. And starting in 2020, for the 26-27 season, you're going to have Woodside Energy logo on every single sports team's uniforms, and I want to say in their venues as well. from football to basketball, baseball, softball, track, soccer, golf, tennis, whatever other sports they have, any other sport they got, you're going to see Woodside Energy on those uniforms. And hey, you might see it. You might see Woodside Energy painted in on the field in Death Valley. You might see it on the court at the PMAC. You might see it somewhere on a first base, third base line, or in the outfield at the box or Tiger Park. You might see it on the field at the soccer stadium too, or on the track. Woodside Energy, LSU come teaming together. That is going to bring a lot of fucking money in the school. I know a lot of people are people are going to criticize you can't satisfy everybody in this fucking country. But to me, I absolutely love this. This is going to bring more revenue into the school, into these programs. It's going to draw more corporate sponsors to join in. Hell, this could bring some revenue in these venues. I know Tiger Stadium just got a massive upgrade. They could draw more money and do some more upgrades. We can have more suites in Tiger Stadium. We can have another 10,000 more seats if they wanted. They can put some work in the PMAC, get some other great shit done. Just don't do the LED light shit in the seats like the Intuit Dome did. We could see more seats in the outfield at the box. Woodside Energy is going to bring some money and some revenue and some attention, and that LSU, I think, can trailblaze this, and we can see other Power 5 championship programs jump on board and get a legacy partner, maybe like an Alabama, an Ohio State, a Michigan, a Miami, a Georgia, a Clemson, a USC. Anybody that's got a history of winning championships or knows what it's like to win one can hop on board and do the same thing LSU's doing. So with that being said, I am all in on this partnership with Woodside as a legacy partner. And I wouldn't mind buying uniforms with Woodside gear on it. The school always had money, but they got more money coming in. That's where I want to start off on the positive side with LSU. But now let's get to what I've been waiting to talk about for the last, 8 months now. I am finally ready to talk some LSU baseball, and let me tell you, they have not skipped a beat. They picked up where they left off after winning their 8th national championship back in Omaha. The Tigers, Jay Johnson's Tigers, are currently 5-0, undefeated, number 2 team, still the number 2 team in the country. Actually, I haven't checked the baseball rankings yet. Hell, they might be number 1 right now. Let's take a look before I go any further. As of right now, as of right now, they're still the number 2 team in the country, but hey, it's all good. I'm still shocked they're not over UCLA. UCLA already has 1 loss. But they haven't updated this yet. It just shows that LSU's 3-0, but they're currently 5-0. Let's talk about this record-breaking weekend they've had. They opened up the season with the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee. The Panthers, first ever meeting. First time ever the Panthers came down to Baton Rouge. It was a clean sweep, but I'm going to have to give Milwaukee some credit. They kind of scared us a little bit, but we walked away with the W's. Game 1, Tigers took the win 15-5. Game 2, they took the win 5-3. Game 3, they took the win 21-7, ending it in 7 innings there after the 10-run rule. Just in the first game, I want to talk about the opening day game. Tigers had 15 total runs. 4 of those were home runs. Well, they can hit some dingers, especially if you're a Jake Brown or Zach York. Oh, I love those 2 right now. I know opening day on the mound, it started with Kason Evans, then Cooper Williams and Gavin Guidry. Combined 8 hits, 5 runs. On opening day, they've only allowed 8 hits, 5 runs. They had 5 errors, 2 base on balls, 17 strikeouts. That's just the first game. Overall against Milwaukee, 41. They've had 41 total runs, 37 total RBIs, 6 total home runs the whole weekend, a record 49 strikeouts in just 3 games. That's like a record right there. They've only allowed 15 hits, and they've only allowed 4 home runs the whole weekend. But creds to Milwaukee, bringing the fire, did taking some leads at one point, and they did get some home runs in that game. And their batting average was .385 against Milwaukee. Jake Brown, I mean, I wish I'd have had Zach Yort's total numbers up so far, but I should have updated this, but this is what I've had before the Kent State game. I mean, I just in that weekend against Milwaukee, Jake Brown was at bat 12 times with 5 runs, 6 hits, 2 doubles, 8 RBIs, 14 total bases. His slugging percentage was 1.167, and his on-base percentage was .571. That was just opening weekend against Milwaukee. I would love to see what his total numbers are right now. But that was not the only action they had this weekend as well. Let's talk about what happened the rest of the week. Let's get something ready for y'all. Before I get that up, let's talk about what happened later in the week. So Monday night, Monday night, it was their first night game at the box. They hosted Kent State. They got the win 10-7. Where in that game they've had 7 errors, 6 base on balls, and they threw 15 strikeouts. So 49, 50 plus 15. So after that Kent State game, the Tigers have already thrown 64 strikeouts, and it's only been nearly a week. Also against Kent State, they had 10 runs, 13 hits, 9 RBIs, 6 base on balls, plus 4 home runs, courtesy of 2 from Jake Brown, 1 from Mason Braun, and 1 from Zach York. And then earlier today, they got the victory over Nichols, 12-1. So you add another 9 strikeouts. They've had 9 strikeouts against Nichols. So since opening day, they've only played 5. It's in 5 games. LSU's already thrown 73 strikeouts in 5 games. That is unbelievable numbers right there. Plus, they also had 2 home runs against Nichols. So I would love to see the total numbers. I know they probably don't have it fully updated right now. But, man, I got to see. I have to see these right now to see if they actually fully updated this correctly or if we got to wait 24 hours. So let's start with the hitting side. Since opening day to today. So they actually have had this updated. They've had 172 at bat, 63 total runs, 61 total hits, 17 doubles, 1 triple, 12 home runs, 55 RBIs, 31 base on balls. Only 7 players have been hit by a pitch. Only 29 players have been struck out. The team's batting average so far this season is .355. On the pitching side, since opening day, in 41 total innings, they've only allowed 35 hits, 23 runs, 23 errors, 20 base on balls, 73 strikeouts, 6 doubles, they've only allowed 6 home runs. They've only had 3 wild pitches. They've had 10 players hit by a pitch courtesy of them. And their ERA is 5.05 so far this season. Those are outstanding numbers for only 5 games. And the train's going to keep on rolling. You see this big grin on my face right now. Because this baseball team is satisfying me right now. So they have been kicking ass. And there's going to be more to come. Let's see what's next for LSU. I know after 5 straight games at the box, they are going to finally hit the road for the first time this season. They're going play in a tournament in Jacksonville. I forgot what the tournament's called. I was hoping. I would have had something. You know what? I think I know what can tell me this. I know a way you can tell me. So I'm going to look at it two different ways. But I know they got three big games coming up. They got Indiana, Notre Dame, and UCF in Jacksonville. The Jacks College Baseball Classic is what they're going to be playing in this weekend in Jacksonville. All three games are going to be day games. Friday's game with Indiana will be at 1 p.m. Central, so noon here. Saturday will be – no, it is 1 p.m. Central. So 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 Central. So these are going to be our times right here. Friday against Indiana at 1, Saturday against Notre Dame at 11 a.m., and Sunday against UCF at 2 p.m. I wonder how these teams are doing right now. Like, I would love to know these teams' records. Let's look it up real quick. Let's see. Indiana, as of right now, the Hoosiers the Hoosiers are 1-3. Okay. Maybe that could be an easy win right there. But baseball is very unpredictable. We all know that. Notre Dame is currently 2-1. Notre Dame might be a fight there. And UCF, that was the one I was kind of worried about right now. It's loading. Oh, come on. Load. Oh, they're 3-1. Okay, yes. So that I don't think I'm going to sweat Indiana out. It's going to be Notre Dame that worries me and UCF. I had a feeling UCF might be a little scary game, but hey, they can take on anything. So let's keep this train rolling. Go Tigers. Let's go dominate in Jacksonville. Now, I do have a bone to pick with the softball team here before we get to any other rants I got to do. So, softball started at the beginning of February. We're already 3 weeks into the month already. This team went from being 7-0 to losing 4 in a row, but now improved to 8-4. Since last show, they got the win over Oklahoma State 9-4, but you go to Clearwater, Florida, to have one of the worst performance. You have been swept. You were swept in the entire freaking tournament in Clearwater. 2 of these games were shutouts. One was a close loss. The other one was an ass whooping. You got shut out 6-0 to Nebraska. You lose a close one 5-3 to Duke. You get your ass whooped by UCF 5-1, and then you get shut out by UCLA 8-0, which UCLA has a strong history of softball wins, but bounced back and beat South Alabama 10-2. And I know the Tiger Nation has been on Beth Tarina's ass for years, saying if she don't improve this team or get this team back to OKC, they want her ass gone. Well, now she's putting herself back in the hot seat if she don't get this ball rolling. You got a lot to go here. You're hosting another tournament at Tiger Park, playing against teams like Michigan State twice, the Raging Cajuns, and Howard. Michigan State on Friday. You're playing a doubleheader Saturday against the Raging Cajuns and Michigan State. And then Sunday afternoon, you're hosting Howard, all in your little tournament you're having this weekend. And then February 24th, I might have to go to this one. You're coming to Lake Charles to play McNeese. I've seen you play McNeese before. You've beaten them. Cowgirls are kind of 50-50, but if I'm coming watch you at the Diamond, you better fucking beat. You better fucking win. Because they will run your ass straight out of Baton Rouge this year if you don't get nothing done. Now, I got some more LSU shit to rant. Let's go ahead and get this ball rolling and talk about the PMAX show on LSU basketball, shall we? This is the PMAX show where I do my recaps and talk LSU basketball. And let me tell you, let me start with Kim Mulkey's Tigers because this one's going to be quick because you only had one game. The one game we have been waiting on all damn season long. And you still can't fucking beat Dawn Staley and them fucking Gamecocks. That's 17 in a row now? 17 straight times you lose to fucking South Carolina. You had this in the goddamn bag if you would make your motherfucking free throws. You had College Game Day over there talking bullshit, saying, oh my God, I'm so happy. This is the rivalry game.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
First off, to the horrific panel of College Game Day for women's basketball. Let me rephrase your memory to say this, that LSU and South Carolina is not a rivalry. It never was. And it can't be if you've lost 17 straight. I mean, get back. Get back.
Get back!
You now dropped 22-4. We're now losing hope of making another Final Four appearance. You couldn't beat Texas. You couldn't beat South Carolina. I have no confidence you can beat UConn if you meet them in the playoffs. You had this game won. You lose 79-72. Flau'jae Johnson, 21 points, 8 rebounds and an assist. Amaya Joyner, 13 rebounds with 8 points. Jada Richard, 3 assists and a turnover and 7 points. And Kim Mulkey's now getting the shit into the stick lately. I know she can coach better than that. But she about to do something too. I don't want this team to be a freaking one-hit wonder like when they won their only national title in 23. They better than that. You dropped to 7 now. Luckily you only dropped one spot. You're now the number 7 team in the country. But you got a tougher road coming into the postseason. You go to Ole Miss tomorrow night. Ole Miss is 17th. They're 21-6. That ain't gonna be an easy contest. Sunday, you're back at home against Missouri, who's 16-11. That could be a bounce back win for y'all. It's been a rough month for y'all so far. You lost 2 of the biggest games you needed to win. But you couldn't beat Texas and you couldn't beat South Carolina. Y'all got to do better than that. Speaking of that, oh, God, let's get this shit show over with. Let's fucking get Matt McMahon's Tigers out the way here. Not to say I'm surprised, but this losing streak's still going on. Remember, LSU boys hasn't won a game since January 31st. They're now on a 4-game losing streak. Since last show, they only had 1 game. They lost to Texas in a fucking heartbreaking loss, 88-85.
You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here! Fucking guys, this fucking team, man, they fucking suck! I'm gonna hate fuck this shit out of you, ref!
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Before that, they also lost to Tennessee 73-63. Do I even want to run these numbers here? Oh, God. Let's just get this shit over with. Markel Sutton led in points and rebounds in that game against Tennessee. 15 points, 9 rebounds. Jalen Reese led in assists with 4. Against Texas, Max McKinnon led in points with 27. Markel Sutton led in rebounds with 5. And Jalen Reese led in assists with 9. LSU is currently 14-12 overall with an SEC record of 2-11. Oh, it's almost over, Haas. It's almost over. 4 more games and it's over. No more having to watch this bullshit team, and hopefully they get some changes done and get rid of Matt McMahon and find a coach that wants to win. Because this team sure don't want to win shit. Ay. Well, that's all the talk I got in Tigerland in the 225. Let's go ahead and take it in my neck of the woods. Let's go to the 337, where I'm going to add McNeese baseball and softball with my talk of the Bayou Bandit duel. So let's go ahead and let's strictly talk some McNeese love, shall we? Let's go. Now that we're in the 337 to talk McNeese, let's start with McNeese basketball. This segment I like to call the Bayou Bandit duel. And let me tell you, McNeese basketball is improving, you know. Now they're on a 4-game win streak after that Stephen F. Austin loss. So even though they may not win the conference outright, they still have a chance to improve and get better to win the Southland Conference tournament coming up in a couple of weeks that they're hosting once again, because that's the ticket to get to the big dance. As you win your conference tournament, you automatically qualify, and you punch your ticket to March Madness. I can just say, as of right now, the McNeese Cowboys is 15-3 in the Southland Conference with an overall record of 22-5. They're on a hot streak right now, and since last show, they've played 2 games, both on the road. They went to Commerce, Texas, took on the Lions of East Texas A&M. They got the win, 97-54. Javon Garcia led in that game with 21 points. He also had 2 rebounds. Pitak Machar led in rebounds with 9. He also had 9 points. Garway Duel led in assists with 5, along with 14 points and a rebound. Tyshawn Archie had 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. And Larry Johnson had 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists against East Texas A&M. And then Monday night, they went to Natchitoches and took down the Demons 75-64. Tyshawn led in that game with 24 points, and he led in assists with 8, plus he had a turnover. Pitak Machar only led in rebounds with 7, but no points in that game. Larry Johnson, 15 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. So they're rolling, baby. What's next for the Pokes on the hardwood? Well, this Saturday, all eyes are going to be on McNeese. All eyes are going to be on TLA, because they're welcoming in the Islanders of Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and the game will be live on ESPNU. 7 o'clock night game, so that means I get to get a triple header. I get to watch baseball at 1, maybe a little bit of girls basketball in between, and the boys cap it off at night on prime time. 1-2 boogie, Shorty George.
Give me 1-2 boogie and Shorty George. Shorty George.
Be sure to tune in. Find your boy on TV as well. I usually sit behind the bench. It's going to be a fun, packed out night. Get those tickets now. They're expecting a sold-out crowd. And the last time they were on national TV, TLA was sold out and a rocking. Rocking and a rolling and a rolling and we're rocking and rocking and we're rolling. Oh, it's going to be a fun weekend in Lake Charles. I can't wait. Go Pokes. Let's finally talk about a little bit of McNeese baseball and softball too. I'm gonna get this typed up. I'm gonna give them their own little thing here. Give me a sec. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, I already have one up. What the hell? I didn't move it. Here we go. Magnie's baseball softball talk. Let's start. I'll get softball out of the way because I think Magnie's got a game plan right now against Louisiana Tech. I'll get an update on that in a bit. But Magnie's kind of been on a roll himself. And since last stream, they played in the Raging Cajuns Invitational. They shocked us all last Thursday. They played a doubleheader against Ole Miss. They won the first game 12-11. Ooh, get back!
Get back!
Might have been the biggest win in the history of that program. Now, they did fall in the second meeting of that doubleheader. They did fall 8-3, but hey, I couldn't be more proud of them. They did beat them once. Then they took on Austin P in the Carl Vinson Insurance Invitational. They beat Austin P 11-9. They played UIC in the next game where they fell 5-3, and they played Austin P again where they fell 7-5. They did get the win over UIC. They beat them 14 to. Now they went on a 3-game win streak after that. They beat UIC 14-4. This past yesterday actually on Mardi Gras, they went to Southern Miss and got the win 8-6. And they went to South Alabama earlier today and got the win 5-2. So as of right now, Magnie's softball is 9-4. Not bad for a school like McNeese. They're almost at the 10-win column, so that's a good sign. They need to keep on winning. What's next for softball? They got what's called Friday, the Cajun AC Louisiana Clash. So it's another tournament at Cowgirl Dime. They're welcoming in Houston and Missouri. Houston Cougars of the Big 12 and Missouri of the SEC. They're going to actually, I don't know who they're going to play. Oh, they're going to play both teams Friday. 3:30 they host Houston, and then at 6 p.m. they host Missouri. And then Saturday they play Houston again at 11 a.m. and then again at 4 p.m. against Missouri. Missouri and Houston are going to play against each other at 1:30 Saturday and at 1 p.m. on Friday. Then after that, Sunday, they're going to play each other again. Missouri plays UL and Houston plays UL. Raging Cajuns are going to show up towards the end. And then Tuesday, February 24th, LSU comes to town. I'm going to see what happens there. I might end up going to that game if the tickets are not too pricey, but they usually are not too pricey. So I got a lot of Magnie's softball to talk about when I get to the next week's show. Meanwhile, Magnie's baseball, I know since opening day, they've only played 3 games. They're 1-2 right now, but I think they're about to be 2-2. They hosted Sam Houston this past weekend. They got the first game went into, I think, 13 innings, and they got the win 9-8 with a walk-off. But Saturday, they got blown out 11-2, and Sunday, they lost a close one 8-5. I know today they're in Ruston right now playing Louisiana Tech. And the last I saw, well, I think the game's over. Let me scroll. McNeese beat Louisiana Tech 8-3. Ooh, 1-2 boogie, Shorty George.
Give me 1-2 boogie and Shorty George. Shorty George.
Back in the win column. They're now 2-2 of the season. What's next? Big test. Big test for McNeese this weekend. They're no strangers of hosting Power 5 schools at the Geaux. LSU has come to the Geaux. Missouri came to the Geaux. Houston came to the Geaux. Now comes the Kansas Jayhawks of the Big 12. Let's see what their record is right now, because I was planning on being there Saturday. They're gonna have a packed crowd that weekend at the Geaux, bringing in a Power 5 team like Kansas, which I'm pretty sure they got a rich history of baseball. But let me see if I can type it up. Let's see. Let's see how the Jayhawks are currently doing right now. Kansas is 2-2. Same record. Okay, we got an even matchup, folks. And it's counting down 1 day, 20 hours, and 4 minutes and 34 seconds until the first pitch. Friday night at the Geaux. Get those tickets now. We might have a packed crowd at the Geaux. I'll be there Saturday. They play, I think, at 1 o'clock on Saturday. I'll kind of get a break in between, like when that game's open. Probably when that game's over, that'll be the time, if I stay for the whole game, time to walk across to TLA and get ready for the Corpus matchup. So I might just be in that same location the whole time. That's going to be a fun weekend at McNeese. But that will wrap up the McNeese baseball softball talk. I'm going to have to come up with some stories with like a little topic name like the Bayou Bandit Duel, the PMAX show, or this next one we're going to talk about. Let's go ahead and jump to the 713 and wrap this show up because all I got to talk is Houston Cougar basketball. Let's take it to H-Town. Let's wrap it up at the 713 and sound the alarm because this is the red alert. Let's go to H-Town, folks.
Go Cougs, this a red alert.
Who it's all about?
It's all about the Cougars.
It's all about the Cougars.
This is the red alert, where I talk Houston Cougar basketball. They've only played 2 games since last stream and should have won both. I'll talk about the last one in a bit, but let's talk about the first one. Saturday's game. They took on Kansas State. Kansas came to Fertitta. Great game, but the Cougars were the last one standing. They got the win 78-64 over the Wildcats. And Emmanuel Sharp, 23 points in this game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 turnovers, and 3 steals. He led in points, but Kingston Flemings led in rebounds with 7. He also had 12 points, 4 assists, 4 turnovers, and a steal. Milo Suzanne led in assists with 8, but he also had 12 points in this game and 2 rebounds. Heck of a game. But it's these next 3. These next 3 are going to be their toughest test to see if this team can win another Big 12 tournament. And right now, it's not starting off that good, but it was a tough environment. Monday night, they went to Ames, Iowa. Took on the number 6 team in the country, Iowa State. Back and forth game. They had a gold out. Houston wore black. But that night went to Iowa State, 70-67. 6-7. Tough, heartbreaking loss. But it's not going to affect them. They're still the number 2 team in the country right now. But they're currently 23-3 overall. But second loss in the Big 12, where they're 11-2 in the conference. But they're still in first place. But it all comes down Saturday afternoon. This is why this is the header of the show. The name of this episode is the Big Cat Showdown because we got in Houston at Fertitta. Good thing it's in Houston. We got a top 4 matchup. College Game Day's got to be there for this. We got number 2 versus number 4. We got the Cougars versus the Wildcats. We got Houston versus Arizona. This is going to determine everything. This will determine the fate of the Cougars to win this conference outright and for a chance to win this conference tournament coming up in March. This will not be an easy game. And it's all led by Braden Burries, who is their leading scorer for this team, averaging 15.7 points per game. Oh. Do I need to say more? They're shockingly Houston's favorite to win this game, but anything can happen on the hardwood. If this would have been in Tucson, I would be freaking nervous as hell. But luckily, it's at Fertitta. This is the biggest game of the season and the hardest game to get this season. I was looking at going to this game. The cheapest ticket is almost $500, folks. Hell no. The one time I want to go, the one last time I get a chance to go see this team, and they want to charge that amount of money for a big game like that, you know what they did to me?
They rip your heart out of your ass.
They ripped it hard because this was a game I had circled I would love to attend. I am not paying that kind of money. I'm just going to watch this at the ballpark. 2 p.m. kickoff on ABC. So I'm going to be in the Joe watching McNeese, Kansas. I'm going to have this game on my phone. But if they can get over the Arizona hump, they got another hump to cross. They got the Kansas Jayhawks in Kansas on a Monday night, February 23rd. Late start time, by the way, 8 p.m. on NBC. A top 10 matchup, 2 versus 8. Kansas ain't no joke either. They're 20-6. They're 20-6 of the season. Their conference record right now is 10-3. Arizona's 10-2 in the conference. Overall, they're 23-2. They got a better record than Houston, but Houston's on top in the power rankings and in the conference standings. Houston's also favored to win that game, but that Memorial Gymnasium in Kansas is a tough place to play. Ask Duke, ask North Carolina, ask Kentucky, ask Michigan State, ask all those powerhouse basketball schools, ask Florida, ask Vanderbilt. Kansas is one of the toughest places in college basketball. But I'm looking forward to 2 big matchups for the Cougars. Hopefully they can bounce back and get these wins. Go Cougs. Bury me in the H, folks. Well, that will wrap up tonight's episode. This was fun. I got it out of the way. The NBA talk, not having really the NBA talk unless All-Star Weekend kind of put that to go quick, but I know the show will get a little longer once I bring back talking the Houston Rockets and the Pels from here on out till their seasons wrap up. But thank y'all for tuning in. You know where to find me. You know where to find Driving to the Top. Till then, it won't be until February 25th. Same time, same place, same network. You can find this show. Till then, hope you guys enjoy a wonderful Lent season, whether you're giving up something or gaining something to do. Peace, love. I'm out. I'll catch you guys next Wednesday. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy life, folks. Take it easy.